Hey everyone, Eric here. In this video, we're checking out the hammer from O.C.E pedals. The hammer from O.C.E pedals is based around a Big Muff style fuzz. It's not a clone, it's a take on a Big Muff style fuzz. And Chris over at O.C.E pedals actually calls it a heavy fuzz, which I think is a really great way to describe the hammer. Now before we get into the pedal, let's go over the signal chain really quick. We're using my Revolta Mondata, 2 humbuckers, going into the hammer, and then from the hammer, we're going out to the Boss Katana set pretty clean. Now, being as that the hammer is inspired by and a take on that sort of Big Muff style fuzz, we have very familiar controls that we'll understand from other different variations of the Big Muff. We have level, tone, and fuzz. Now, level is going to be our output volume. So if we turn it all the way down and we kick the pedal on, we're not going to get anything. And as we start to turn it up, we get louder and louder. And in sort of the same style of fashion as other Big Muff style pedals, Unity sits probably around like 60 to 75%. And that's not really a good thing or a bad thing. It's just, you have to be aware of that, because if you're thinking Unity gain is gonna be at noon, it's not that way. It's more up to like right there. Moving on, we have the tone control, and the tone circuit inside the hammer is really where the uniqueness of this circuit comes into play, because it's not voiced like a traditional Big Muff with the mid scoop, the heavy mid scoop. It's got a lot more mids, and you know, again, it's just heavy. At noon, we get a decent balance of lows and highs, and again, we get a decent mid-range too. And if we turn it down past noon, we get a darker sound. And then if we want a brighter sound, we can turn the tone control up past noon. Next up, we have the fuzz control. Now, the fuzz control lets us dial in the amount of fuzz or gain or distortion, whatever you want to call it, in our signal. And the hammer does one thing that I really like, and that is when the fuzz control is on 0, we still get signal out of the pedal. Albeit quiet, because there's not a whole bunch of fuzz in it. So this is as clean as the pedal will get. And from here, we can start to introduce more fuzz by turning the fuzz control up. So now I wanted to showcase one of my favorite settings that I've been using recently on the hammer, and that's stacking it with another drive in front of it. I've long been a preacher of the distortion boost into the front of a big muff, so I love that combination. But this is a kind of different way that I've been setting things up with the hammer. So first, I will get a low gain sound out of the hammer. Right now, we've got everything at noon. Pretty gainy. So what I'll do is I usually take the fuzz control, turn it to like, what, 25%? Now what I'll do is I'll introduce a boost or a drive pedal before it. In this case, we've got the O.C.E lineman right here, which is a rat style pedal. But again, just like the hammer, it's not a clone, it's a take on it, and it kind of expands the rat circuit into something that really performs well at low gain. So what I'll do, I have both pedals off right now. I'll show you the sound that I have on the lineman. So that's clean. Now it's a decent amount of drive, as you heard, so it's breaking up, but it's also pushing a lot of volume into the pedal, so we get even more gain. So what I've been doing is turn the hammer on right here. And then kick on a pedal, in this case the lineman before it. Go play with your toy. Good girl. So that gets us a really distorted sound, or really fuzzy sound. But from here, we can kind of use the volume control to get anything from like a low gain sound up to that fuzzy sound that we just heard. So if I go ahead and play a little bit and then turn the volume control down. So now we've got my Squier Classic Vibe Precision Bass plugged into the hammer. Same amp, same settings. Here's a clean sound. Now let's go ahead and see how the hammer sounds on bass. Right now we've got tone on 50%, fuzz on 50%, and then we've got the level boosted a little bit. Let's go ahead and turn the fuzz down to see what kind of cleaner sounds we can get. So that sounds really good with the fuzz all the way up. I'm gonna turn it down a tiny bit. Now let's go ahead and hear the tone sweep. I hope you enjoyed this look at the hammer from O.C.E pedals. If you'd like to learn more about it, I'll leave a link to the O.C.E pedals website in the description below. While you're down there, if you're looking for any sort of other musical equipment, I have links to Sweetwater, Reverb, and Amazon. Those are affiliate links, and it saves you time by taking you directly to those sites or a product on the site. If you hear rustling, it's Azula. Right there. She is antsy. Anyway, it saves you time by taking you directly to those sites or products on the site. Anything you buy through those links helps support the channel because I get a small commission, again, on anything you buy. It saves you time, it doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's a great way to help support the channel if you want to do so. I want to thank my Patreon fam, my supporters over on Patreon. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching this video. I hope you're doing well out there. I hope you're staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're taking care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video.